Hi, I'm Chris Raphael, and I do the music informatics program in the SOIC. What I want to talk about today is the thing that is capturing most of our attention these days, which is optical music recognition. So the sad thing about music is in some sense it lags behind, still living in the 20th century, very much unlike text. Over the last 10 or 15 years, we've just seen this miraculous change in what you can do with text, automatic searching and analysis and retrieval, and even to some extent understanding meaning. And we can't do this with music. And the reason is we have almost no symbolic music data. We have lots of images of music and sound, but we don't have anything equivalent to character encoded text. This is the problem. And this is what I would really like to change. So we have a research effort in optical music recognition. And the good news for us is there's this organization called the IMSLP, the International Music Score Library Project. And they have hundreds of thousands of score images that are just waiting to be recognized. And this would be a really great thing if we could do it. It would just be revolutionary for music. We'd have digital music stands like we have e-readers now. So you'd instantly download your music. You could keep marks for generations. Perhaps they would even tell you when you're wrong and turn pages for you, all sorts of interesting things. There's the burgeoning field of computational musicology, trying to automatically understand various aspects of either single scores or large collections of scores. And then there's, of course, my field, which is music informatics, all the interesting tools we can make, things that accompany musicians, improvise with musicians, teach musicians, and many other things that haven't been thought of yet. So for optical music recognition, oh gee, the problem is hard. And that's where the intellectual challenge comes from. Music is made of a core library of pretty consistent grammatical arrangements of things. And if it were only restricted to that, we'd be golden, but it isn't. You can sort of imagine music has accumulated all of the kinds of exceptions you'd expect would happen over several hundred years of unconstrained use. So just about every rule you can think of, there's an exception to. And none of these are fatal in and of themselves. It's sort of an interesting thing. It would be very easy, actually, to accommodate many of the exceptions. The funny thing that happens is as you make your recognizers more permissive, they do find these occasional unusual things, and they perform worse on everything else. So it's sort of a difficult balance, and after working on this a number of years, I've come to the conclusion that this is not a problem that will ever be solved completely automatically by the computer. For that matter, the human needs to be there anyway. Somebody needs to bless the results if they're going to be of any value, and that's certainly going to involve some kind of correction of them. So the idea is if the person is there, why don't we integrate them in a much more interesting way? All of a sudden, I find this intellectual challenge that I didn't know existed before. I used to think if you involve the person, you're somehow cheating. This is not what the recognition game is about. And I've come to view that as sort of a naive characterization of things. There's this really interesting challenge in trying to figure out how you take a person and integrate them into the process. And we create jobs, too. Well, here's just a short little demo of how things work. We have an interactive system, and I can't really discuss it in any detail here. I'll just show you a picture of what it does. The human helps this along, and it's a great start, but it's too slow. It will never get us there as it is. So we really have some hard and interesting and challenging work to do. Perhaps you folks have some ideas. I'd love to hear about them. I don't have time to talk about the other things we do. I just mentioned musical accompaniment systems is a very popular thing in my group, and I can't resist showing the picture. Every year I do a concert with the Summer String Academy. It's a wonderful group of pre-college age kids, very enthusiastic, intelligent, and fun to work with. Here they are. Thank you very much.